crystalline halls of the Celestial Assembly had never witnessed such silence. For the first time in eons, the beings who shaped galaxies and breathed life into stars found themselves paralyzed by an emotion they had long forgotten. Fear. High Arbiter Zephyros, whose consciousness spanned 17 dimensions, trembled as he gazed into the cosmic viewing sphere. The readings were impossible, defying every law of reality they had established. The void, that primordial darkness that existed before creation itself, was awakening, and when it fully stirred, everything would cease to exist. "The calculations are confirmed," whispered Oracle Nethys, her voice like the death song of dying suns. 47 standard cycles until complete universal dissolution. No force in creation can stop it. Around the assembly, beings of pure energy flickered with anxiety. The shapers, who had molded reality itself, wrung their ethereal hands. The Time Weavers, masters of causality, had already searched through infinite timelines. In every single one, the outcome was the same: oblivion. "There must be something," Zephyros insisted, his form crackling with desperate energy. "Some force we haven't considered, some power we've overlooked." "Wait." The voice belonged to Keeper Athenas, guardian of the Universal Archives. Her ancient consciousness pulsed with sudden recognition. "There is one possibility, but it seems absurd." The assembly turned toward her with the weight of dying galaxies. "Speak," commanded Zephyros. "The humans," Athena said quietly. "Those primitive creatures from the third spiral of the Milky Way. Their readings, they've always been anomalous." A ripple of what could only be described as divine laughter echoed through the chamber. Counselor Helios, whose domain encompassed 1,000 star systems, scoffed openly. "The humans, those bipedal mammals who've barely achieved interstellar travel, they can't even harness the full power of their own star." "That's precisely the point," Athenas insisted. "They're the only species we've encountered whose potential we cannot measure. Every other race reaches a ceiling, a definable limit. But human—" She paused, accessing memories spanning millennia. "They possess something we lack." "Enlighten us," Zephyros said dryly. "Hope," Athenas replied. "When faced with impossible odds, when logic dictates surrender, they choose to fight anyway. They call it stubbornness, but it's more than that. It's a fundamental rejection of fate itself." The assembly fell silent as they contemplated this. Hope, such a foreign concept to beings who had transcended emotion eons ago. Even if this were true, Helios argued, what could they possibly do against the void? They barely understand quantum mechanics. "Perhaps that's their advantage," Athena suggested. "We've spent eternity learning what's impossible. They've spent their existence proving impossibility wrong." Zephyros considered this for several cosmic heartbeats. The void's influence was already seeping into reality's edges, unmaking star systems with casual indifference. Time was running out, and conventional wisdom had failed them completely. "Very well," he decided. "We shall observe. But we do not interfere. If humanity is to save existence itself, they must do so without our intervention." On Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the impossible readings flooding her quantum research facility. For the past week, reality itself seemed to be unraveling. Space-time distortions were appearing randomly, and the laws of physics were becoming more like gentle suggestions. "This is insane," muttered her colleague, Dr. James Rodriguez, as he analyzed the latest data. "According to these readings, the fundamental forces are breaking down. The strong nuclear force is weakening. Gravity is becoming inconsistent, and don't get me started on what's happening to electromagnetic fields." Sarah nodded grimly. She'd been running simulations for days, and every model pointed to the same conclusion: universal collapse within 6 weeks. "The anomalies started simultaneously worldwide," she observed. "Whatever's causing this isn't local, it's cosmic in scope." "So what do we do?" James asked. "Alert the world governments? 'Cause mass panic?" Sarah was quiet for a long moment, her mind racing through possibilities. Then almost involuntarily she smiled. "We do what humans do best," she said finally. "We solve the unsolvable." Within hours, she had initiated the most ambitious collaborative project in human history. The emergency protocol she activated bypassed national boundaries, corporate interests, and political divisions. Every major research facility, every brilliant mind, every available resource on Earth was connected through a single network with one goal: save reality. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Scientists in Tokyo shared data with researchers in Sao Paulo. Theoretical physicists in Stockholm collaborated with engineers in Mumbai. Garage inventors in Detroit contributed alongside Nobel laureates in Geneva. What emerged was unprecedented in human history, a truly unified effort where the survival of existence itself overrode every petty division that had ever separated humanity. Dr. Yuki Tanaka in Japan proposed using quantum entanglement to create a reality. Anchor, Dr. Amara Okafor in Nigeria, suggested weaponizing humanity's collective consciousness through synchronized meditation. Dr. Erik Larson in Norway theorized about using the planet's magnetic field as a cosmic stabilizer. As impossible as it seemed, the ideas began to merge into something coherent. Not a single solution, but a symphony of human ingenuity that grew more complex and audacious with each passing hour. In the celestial assembly, the gods watched in growing amazement. "They're actually doing it," whispered Oracle Nethys. "They're creating solutions we never considered." "Impossible," Helios breathed. "They're using principles that shouldn't work, connecting theories that have no business being compatible." But Zephyros understood. "They're not bound by our knowledge of impossibility. To them, everything is worth trying." The human project reached its crescendo exactly 37 days after the first anomalies appeared. Across Earth, every human being participated in the largest coordinated effort their species had ever attempted. Not just the scientists, everyone. Children in classrooms, farmers in fields, office workers on lunch breaks, all united in a single moment of desperate, defiant hope. What they created defied description. Part technology, part belief, part sheer human stubbornness made manifest. They reached into the fabric of reality with nothing but determination and the absolute refusal to accept defeat. The void, that ancient darkness older than time, encountered something it had never faced before, a force that simply refused to acknowledge its inevitability. And for the first time since creation began, the void hesitated. In that moment of hesitation, reality reasserted itself. The fundamental forces stabilized. Space-time resumed its normal structure. The universe, quite literally, remembered how to exist. In the aftermath, as the cosmic crisis faded like a nightmare upon waking, the celestial assembly sat in stunned silence. "How?" Helios asked simply. Athena's keeper of all knowledge gave the only answer that made sense. "Because they're human, and humans don't know when to quit." From that day forward, whenever the gods faced the impossible, they remembered the day Earth's children taught the universe that hope. More than any cosmic force was the power that kept reality whole, and in the quiet moments between heartbeats of eternity, even the gods learned to hope.